It's the all-new Valley Gold with Debórah. This is the show that brings you the stars, the stories, and the performances by your friends and neighbors right here in the Valley. You'll see familiar faces and you'll get to learn more about how they do what they do. From the main ingredient, let's go for the gold with Cuba Gooding. My vision is clear. All my roads lead nowhere. In the house tonight. Reach your destination. 'Cause what you find is your love bird is your bird. Start it again. So get up, get it on. Try it again, get it. And we're here on the Valley Gold Show with the Mr. Cuba Gooding, Sr.
Senior, I want to ask one question.
Sure, but are we reversing roles
Why is it that Tom Cruise, Cuba Gooding Jr., Matthew McConaughey, Spike Lee, everybody can come out on television shows looking like slobs, and I got to wear a shirt and tie? Why is that?
The reality
Why do I have to get dressed up?
It's because actually
They don't even wash when they come on television.
Those other clothes won't fit you. You know, he's so fine, the other things just won't even manage to make their way in his wardrobe. Am I stroking him well? And I've seen him backstage, on front of the stage, and he's just cute all the time.
So when was your divorce final? No, I'm just kidding. It's a privilege to be here in Youngstown, though, because you see, Youngstown it's a very special place. Youngstown, you guys have survived a lot of different aggravations. I met the mayor today, I sat and spoke with the mayor. He is an exceptional man. And I've met another fellow who works for the county. His name is Raymond Butler. And we were talking about the golf classic that I have in Las Vegas in my name that I want to bring here to Youngstown. Even though y'all ain't got but about, now I know y'all ain't got but about 4.5, 5 months of good weather to play golf in, but no, seriously, I believe that it's important if these people in Nevada, can you imagine Mormon County, for them to want a golf classic named after a born-again Christian, they deserve a big round of applause also, don't they?
And speaking of the born-again Christian, let's get back to some of your roots. You were born in Barbados?
No, my father was born in Barbados. No, my dad, only my dad. My mom was born in Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Okay.
My father was born in Barbados, a slave in the 1800s, and his father was a well-to-do slave. He had the house, and my grandfather was a well-to-do slave. My father worked in the fields, and he didn't like it. So I guess I can explain how I got my name now and why I saddled Cuba Jr. with it. He fled Barbados and ran down the Panama Canal, and he helped build that, and he lived in Cuba, the country, for 17 years. And his first wife was killed because he was very political. You know, my father was a lieutenant for Marcus Garvey. Most of you don't know who that is.
Oh, sure we do.
But he's the, he used to, in Harlem when I was a little boy, he would take me by the hand and he'd be a street speaker in front of the Teresa Hotel on 125th Street and 7th Avenue trying to get black people to go back to Africa. That's a true story. But my father loved his people so much, and he hated the British because the British had kept all these West Indians, including himself, in poverty, that he wouldn't give me a name like Joe or Pete or John, and he wouldn't let anybody call him Dudley, which was his name, Dudley McDonald Gooding. They called him Cuba in the street, you know, because he was a number runner, a cab driver, and yeah, he was a hustler. My dad was a hustler, and they called him Cuba. And people, you know, really don't know why I went to jail. No, I'm just kidding. But the fact of the matter is that my dad and mom, it was very unlikely for them to meet because my mom was a disciple of Daddy Grace and Father Divine. And she was a complete devout Christian to the extent where it's a miracle that they could get together long enough to even give birth to me. But when I was born, he told her, he said, look, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. But if our firstborn is a boy, we must call him Cuba. We call him Cuba instead of calling him Dudley. I don't want him to have my name. I'm ashamed of that name and call him Cuba. So when Cuba Jr. was born, my wife wanted to call him Mark. And so, you know, we went through the same fight. And I got that name because of my dad's racial beliefs and political beliefs. And nevertheless, my son, Cuba Jr., only one of my sons, is only the 6th African American in the history of the Screen Actors Guild to win an Academy Award. Yeah. So whatever you believe and whatever because I try in my old age now, I'm 61 years old.
Not bad for old, right?
I'm going to be 62 April 27th, right when they open the casino, the Red Rock Casino, where we're going to do our golf classic.
In Las Vegas.
And they're going to celebrate that. It's going to be in Las Vegas. And we want to do the next one here in Youngstown if this good mayor, and you got a good mayor, he's a smart mayor, he wants y'all to have money. He wants money to be here. You know, he's a very smart man. And he has assured me that it's got to go through committee, you know, just like me. I had to go through committee to come here, you know, my wife. And because this is the only week that I had off, and I'm sitting up in here enjoying this.
She's a smart woman, isn't she?
But we all must try to remember that those of us who have survived, I don't care if it's Bill Cosby, if we survive the 50s and 60s and 70s, it's not because we were better than anybody else. I think the Almighty probably had another plan for me, so I'm trying to do something, whereas my kids and grandkids and great-grandkids won't go through any of the negativity they went through. A lot of people with millions of dollars, miserable in America today, okay? So what we have to do is realize that no matter what, This is a plug for my new CD that I got here for y'all. Everybody plays the fool sometime. Everybody. Now you ask all the questions. I've done all I want to do.
Now we're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask questions.
She's asking the question.
Right back after this. And we're back on the Valley Gold Show with the electric Cuba Gooding. Now
Why did they put these things in? Yes,
no, it's called, why did you put that? Will you be more comfortable if I pull that out?
It's
if we pull it out, okay.
But you might make me sweat.
Okay, back to your growing up, because we have a lot of artists today who, you know, everybody's copying old school music. It's like it will never die. It's still burning fresh in our hearts. Now, you grew up in Harlem?
Harlem, New York, the village of Harlem, the home of Adam Clayton Powell. And I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that I grew up in a Harlem that got worse after I left, even though I never knew I was poor when I was growing up. I grew up in a community, a black community. It was whites living, Spanish, everybody living in the same place. Columbia University, right on the other side of the park.
Was it a musical community?
Well, I must tell you that we get a lot of credit today, those of us who are still here, and a lot of us are dropping like flies. We just lost Wilson Pickett. I mean, Luther Vandross is gone. But I mean, the fact of the matter is that when I was growing up as a little boy in Harlem in the late 50s and the 60s, even, well, you might as well say the 50s, as a little boy, I was 8 blocks away from the Apollo Theater where the amateur shows was. And you know, I used to, as a little boy, go and I could see Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Jackie Wilson. I mean, my role models were not dope dealers, they weren't murderers, they didn't want to be gangsters, pimps, they didn't want to do any of that kind of thing. These were, everybody could sing. Either you could play some sport, or you stood on a street corner and said, whoo, whoo, you know what I mean? And everybody could sing. I am very proud to say that because of those influences, I had an advantage, and I'm trying to do well by it. I'm trying to pass that on to a younger generation. Tupac Shakur didn't have the advantages that I have. I had a heads up on him because I had to want to do music, and I knew what real music, the melody and the lyric was. And we used to have gangs, and we used to have fist fights when I was coming into Harlem. Nobody wanted to kill anybody. Right. Because in those days, even the 50s and 60s, I mean, people were getting hosed down by people in Alabama. We see Mississippi, people being lynched, churches blown up. We don't want to kill each other. We wanted to just see who's going to be king of the hill. Because if we killed somebody, I mean, we knew we had a common enemy. You know what I'm saying? We didn't feel as if we should murder each other at that time. And so drive-bys didn't exist, and the music kept us so amicable, so happy. I mean, it was a goodness in the music. That's why every time the main ingredient, when we got together to sing a song, it was something like Spinning Around, or I'm So Proud, Happiness, Trying to Get a Woman, or You've Been My Inspiration, or everybody play, or Just Don't Want to Be Lonely. I mean, you know, the kind of song.
Like you really don't want to be lonely.
You know what I mean? Just don't, yeah, but we didn't sing anything or talk about anything that we didn't believe in. Okay, we were not political in those days, even with my father's background. My mom and dad were on different sides of the fence. And then when my dad passed away, I was 11 years old. And my mother explored. She sat me down under Malcolm X. We were right down the block, you know what I mean? And so I could have been shot in the head by a police officer. I could have been killed. I could have overdosed on drugs. I could have done anything. And I'm sitting here in Youngstown, 2006, talking to you people about what happened back in those days. I am blessed. I am the fortunate one. And I think that the only way youngsters who come behind me, I don't care if it's P. Diddy or Usher, okay? There was an experience of love of the music and a specific respect for making it pleasing to the ear that we had, okay? That a lot of these youngsters don't have today. Now, when one of us signed with a real record company, we weren't given a drum machine. We weren't given a, we were given a 40-piece orchestra. On
Real
Everybody
music.
Plays the Fool, you hear real oboes and violins and so forth, so that when you hear me, because I'm going to sing, God willing, I'm going to sing here today, you're going to hear a 5-piece band of brilliant Youngstown musicians emulating a 40-piece orchestra. Okay, it's not going to be no foolishness with somebody scraping or scratching or whatever they call it. You know, it is going to, and I'm not putting down the kids' music, but that's all they had. They did not have the example of wanting to or trying to do anything else. Every musician that played for us could read the charts because they wanted to. They wanted to learn their craft, okay? They knew that in order to get a job, because they wanted to play with someone who was a musician, I don't care if it was Johnny Mathis or Moms Mabley, you better be able to read the music and play the music, okay, so that it would be what? Pleasing to the ear. Okay? It got for a point, 15 years, I wouldn't turn on the radio, not because I didn't have a record on there, but because I just could not, it would take me off of my game. I never stopped wanting to have another hit record. Now I come to find out, every city I go into, in every major city in America, there are at least 3 or 4 radio stations that are playing nothing but old school. I'm hearing Everybody Plays the Fool, The Temptations, Gladys Knight, Shy-Lights on the radio now more than I did in 1970. 4, 5, 6, 7. Why? Because we've got youngsters coming up right now who are not as angry as they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're not as mad anymore. And they want to hear something and they realize it and they watch the TV series Cops and they say, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be in the Crips. I don't want to be in the Bloods, you know? And when they see Cuba Jr.'s father still out here, you know, gained a little weight, but I'm still singing my butt off. Give me another round of applause. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? And they wonder. She think this hurts. I swear, it's a blessing. I'd have paid you to do this, to sit here and talk to people about this.
You should have told me that yesterday.
I mean, this is a big deal for me. You know, and lucky as I understand you had the Shy-Lights here a couple of weeks ago. I mean, these guys been around since the beginning of time compared to these youngsters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they still, every time we do a concert together, there are 4,000 to 5,000 people per night minimum that see us. Every color, every race, every gender, okay, come out to hear us sing something we've been singing 40 years.
Please
We release these new CDs, they charging $40, $45, okay, to pick up an anthology or compilation of old school artists in the record store. Okay, guess who's getting that money?
Yeah, the record labels.
So my point is that if we continue to survive, perhaps these youngsters will understand that they need to do music that will last 40 years also, or 30 years,
And you know,
or 15 years.
I don't mind taking this opportunity to say this, not only just to the audience here, but also for our TV audience.
Yes.
The point that you just made, the record labels are the ones who've been able to exist the longest, but they can't do it without artists such as yourself. And when you have somebody in the house and you can get the product right from the artist himself and have it autographed, that means something.
Well, that's not why I said that, but you're absolutely right, and I thank you for that. Thank you. That's not what I was getting. You see, the reason why so many of us, like the Shirelles, Fats Domino, even the Temptations, Gladys Knight, Four Tops, are owed monies from the record companies is because we signed the contract with a lot of talent, no knowledge of business. We had no idea that the records that were selling then, as long as they were selling in perpetuity, we're supposed to still get paid, okay? Instead of, when we signed for a 4% or 5% royalty, we act like we didn't care what happened to the other 92%, 96% of the money. They make all the money and our royalty and tell us 10 years later that we still owe money because they got us a limousine, bought us a Jeep.
So
paid them. You follow what I'm saying?
With that kind of information now, the knowledge that you have now, how do you steer young people?
Well, first they have to be able to get an education to the extent whereas they can do something to earn a living that is legitimate, not illegal, get a legitimate way to earn a living and hire a lawyer.
Okay.
An entertainment lawyer that understands the music business. It is the most confusing industry on earth. It's worse than politics in the Bush administration. It makes folks realize the fact that they've done something, that they're entitled to it, they've paid their taxes, but they've paid their taxes, but they can't get any disaster relief. Speaking of which, I'm doing a series of concerts for that. If you pay taxes and you can't get picked up off of a broken bridge, if you record a song, you sell millions of copies and you still owe money, that's the same sort of flam. You see what I'm saying? So you have to have an education. You have to have some political sense. Don't just watch cartoons and Bernie Mac, okay? Watch the Fox station. Watch CNN, understand what's going on in the world because it definitely affects you here in Youngstown. Everything that happens in Iraq affects you here in Youngstown. It's common sense. God didn't just put you in Ohio, He put you on the planet Earth. That's why when my father had taught my mother that and my mother told me that, the minute I started making money with Everybody Plays the Fool, I moved all my family, everybody out of Harlem to California because I figured I'm getting them out of harm's way. I moved them right next to South Central LA where Tupac and It didn't make any difference.
Still on
the planet is the planet, okay? Everything, there's something that's good and bad. They say if you can't live in New York, you can't live anywhere. Well, we like to say that, yeah. If you can live in New York, you can. That's foolishness. You can live well anywhere if you have the right frame of mind, okay? This business, music business, I can give you horror stories about the music that really doesn't mean a hill of beans at this point because there are individuals on the TV audience and here that if they could do it, they would cut off a thumb to get a hit record. Just so that they could be guaranteed to feed their families and to support themselves for a legitimate period of time without worrying about where the next dollar is coming from. Okay? That's what happened to me. That's what happened to Gladys Knight, Sarah Vaughan, Jackie Wilson, everybody in the Drifters, the Coasters. You understand? That's what happened. We signed a piece of paper and somebody else, and it wasn't just racial. It was the nature of the business. If we loan you enough money to put a record on the radio and people buy it, you're going to have to pay this VIG. You know what I mean? You sell a single for $1, but you didn't make but 2 pennies. How is that fair? You see? But because of the contract that I signed, Cuba Jr., Omar, my wife, my daughter April, my firstborn son Thomas, everybody is living well right now. Okay? Mm-hmm. But at any minute they may get caught parked askew or accused of pedophilia or some other foolishness. It can happen. We all have one foot out of disaster. So we have to believe in ourselves, okay? And we have to know for a fact that what we're doing is for the benefit not just of ourselves, but for everyone around us. Because I'm telling you. Okay, I'm finished. Now what else you want to know?
We're going to take another commercial break, but that's okay. He knows what he's talking about. We'll be right back with more of Cuba Gooding and his brilliant mind after this.
Hi, we're the Stylistics, and you're watching the Valley Gold Show.
We're back on the Cuba Gooding Show here at Valley Gold.
I don't mean to do that. I just get very passionate about the love of mankind.
Oh, no. I want
That's
you to
all we
feel
have.
comfortable. This show is about learning who the guests are and what they're about and how they are and their passions and their dispassions.
I wonder many instances whether or not I would have ever gone on the American Bandstand show or the Larry King show and all the other shows that I've went on if it were not for controversy of some kind. The media has always been able to thrive off of negative things, or extremely volatile financial bonanzas instead of the common man. You see, the common man is what all of us are that got lucky or have a blessing.
Yeah.
That are successful at anything, whether you're the mayor or a singer or anything. You are going to be Oprah Winfrey one day, and you better remember I told you.
And you come back and do my show, right?
She is brilliant. You have, I swear, you have a pearl and an oyster here with this woman. She is outstanding.
I pay him big, okay?
No, she really is.
Thank you, Peter.
Because there are shows like this one that have been going on for country western music for the past 40 years, and we're not aware of it, but we wonder why those artists don't seem to ever go away. When I signed with RCA with the Main Ingredient in 1970, there was only one black country western artist on the planet, and his name was Charlie Pride.
Right.
And Charlie Pride and I used to sit and talk, you know, because I'd go political on him, and he's a black country western singer. He said, well, I believe with you. I believe in what you're saying, Cuba, but I you know, if I say that, I lose all my job. I have to go back playing baseball. I told him, I said, well, yeah, but you are an icon. You are brilliant at what you do. And what you do is pleasing to the ear. And he said, yeah, if they ever stop listening to good music, we'll both be in trouble. Of course, he's not in trouble, and classic soul has come back. But the writers of Everybody Plays the Fool gave me this song for him. It was supposed to be a country western song. Everybody playing the fool. They had it.
Can't imagine.
And they gave me the cassette, not 8-track. It was. They gave me the cassette, and I gave it to him, and he said, "This is garbage. This will never sell. This is not true country, Cuba. And you know, I don't tell you how to sing R&B, and you don't tell me how to sing country." I said, "Okay." I put it on my album, and you see, it says I put it on the Main Ingredient album, and all we did was use the orchestra that was given to us. Ding, 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 and I just ran my mouth in the okay, so you're Harper. So the moral to that story is, if we could learn for our first reaction to be to uphold each other, compliment each other, support each other, rather than telling each other what we cannot, should not, better not do, okay? Can you imagine what we can accomplish? I'm just not talking about, they have the same, Hispanics have the same problem, Jews have the same problem, Irish have the same problem. It isn't a black problem, it's an ignorance problem, okay? Because we inherited it, we inherited a sort of self-hatred from our parents, who inherited it from their parents, who inherited it from their parents.
That's true.
Okay? And it's got to stop somewhere. We got computers now. Okay? There's a time for us to realize that, like the gentleman said before the show started, we need to support this woman. I mean, we need to support somebody and tell somebody. Tell somebody that we are, that they should support this woman. Okay? This right here could be my springboard to making a few more $1 million in golf. It's true.
It is true.
Okay? Unless I get a DUI or shoot somebody in the back of the head, I can't get on Oprah Winfrey tonight, you know. She ain't going to have me on her show. I got to do something terrible, or I've got to maybe win a Grammy.
Or just say what you're saying on my show, and somebody send her the tape, and so she says, okay, I got to have Cuba Gooding.
It could be. It might happen. I'm just interested. I'm just so happy and so delighted about my children, and I brag about my children. I've gotten to the point because I had gotten where after you've had a hit record, and your last major hit record was 1978, and it's 2006, and you said, dog, dog, I ain't never gonna get another hit record, and I'm seeing people getting hit records that can't sing, dance, tell jokes. They're doing movies about them and everything. I mean, your self-esteem, see, it can dwindle a little bit. But then the boy says, show me the money. You understand? And then you know what I'm saying? I brag on my baby. Then my daughter now is on the Shield. She's playing the cop on the Shield, and Omar with Playmakers and Baby Boy and the Gospel, and you know what I mean. He's coming. He got Deadwood coming out. This is the Gooding family, which is why I'm here again. Every time I do these interviews, I don't care what I'm talking about, where I get money, and it helps other people for concerts, for disaster relief, or whether it helps you with your TV show, or it helps golf courses and all that kind of stuff. I talk about the reason for my success is because of my family. And I also say in the next breath that most human beings, there should be a law passed that they cannot and should not get married and have children until they're 40 years old.
Why are you people clapping?
I mean, we are dumber than dirt at 22 and 23 years old. There's no way in the world, I'm telling you.
It's the truth.
There is no way in the world that we have any idea of how to be a parent at 20 anything. And if we have aspirations to be anything at all in the arts, if we want to be a lawyer, a doctor, or anything, we don't want to take the time to learn. Honey, I'll be back tomorrow. Honey, I got to go. They're waiting for me at the office. I want to. And then if your wife, and then if you divorce, God forbid you get divorced, I know. It can take 5 years for your children to love you again, because children do not believe. They don't understand you left your husband or you left your wife. You left them. Yeah. Okay? That makes them fall under the category of axe murderer, rapist. You follow what I'm saying? Because if you have no parentage, if you have nobody, the responsibility of raising a child is enormous. And I give speeches in little elementary schools and in colleges around the country a little bit just to earn enough money so I don't have to ask Cuba Jr. for nothing. Because asking Cuba Jr. for some money is like root canal. I mean, but. And I explained to them, and they asked me, they say, well, Mr. Gooding, I mean, God, you're a parent, I know you and your wife, I mean, how'd you do it? What did you do? I said, I don't know. And I don't. All I was myself. So in other words, whatever it is that I inherited from my parents, and they inherited, and my parents inherited from their parents, might have manifested itself for the good in me, to an extent, because there's no perfection sitting here, believe me. Okay. But it manifested itself to the extent whereas I could shoot a little of it to April and Omar, Tommy, Cuba, you know what I'm saying?
Looking at all your kids' pictures is just like looking at you. When we were submitting information about you to the press, I kept getting questions. Isn't this Cuba Jr.? No, this is the father. Are you sure? I mean, we got it constantly. And when I look at those pictures, he says shooting a little bit to him. We had a little joke going about you, Cuba. We said there was no wife involved. All these kids, he just kind of spit them out.
I am not even going to comment on that.
But we know that there's a wife involved.
All I can say is when I was coming up, I did a lot of push-ups. You have to stay in shape no matter what you do.
Okay.
So
let's
you have to be healthy. No, I want to finish talking about it. No, I'm just kidding.
He already warned me.
Go ahead.
Turn the page.
Turn the page.
Let's talk about your music for a minute.
About the music?
Your performance now. And I had the esteemed privilege of watching you recently perform in Cleveland, along with the Stylistics and the others. And the thing that just really attracted me about your performance was the energy that you exude. Listening to him now, you've seen some people who maybe they sit down in the chair and they're one person, then they get up in the microphone and something else comes out. I mean, he translates so well from conversation to music to relating with the audience. And of course, you've already seen some of that. Let's talk about what it is that drives you to perform like you do.
Excuse me. I was 12 years old. And my dad had just passed maybe about 7 months before. And she had to raise my little brother and I on a, washwoman's salary. She cleaned people's houses and carried on. maybe play a number from time to time. She might hit, but y'all don't know what that is.
Nah.
Playing a number. But my mom, extraordinary woman from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, she had had 14 years of bliss with my father. My father was a strong West Indian, opinionated, black nationalist, politically black nationalist man, and she was loving Jesus, and both of them felt as if they was keeping the family afloat based on their beliefs. But she used to always tell me when I became an adult that as a baby I used to sing myself to sleep. Mm-hmm. And I'd go to sleep, you know. And the older I got, the easier it seemed for me to be able to sing, but there was something that I was doing wrong because I would get hoarse a lot. And there's a woman named Shari Lewis that had a TV show called The Puppeteers with Lamb Chop. And she, at that point, had a vocal class in Washington Heights in New York. And she used to take her little money and send me up there, and I hated it. And Miss Shari would teach me how to say, and I hated it, you know? And I didn't know that it had done me so much good until I started performing professionally and realizing that I don't have a falsetto. Everything I did had to come from my stomach. So since my role models was people from Jack Benny to Eddie Fisher, to Frank Sinatra, to Tony Bennett, I would see expression, conversation, and entertaining along with the singing. You didn't have to dance, you didn't have to tell jokes, but you had to sell the song. You had to tell the story. I always believed that that was important, although I was never chosen to be an actor. I've done some acting recently because of my sons and because of this play I was in called Be Careful What You Pray For. I was been in a few gospel plays, but other than that, I've never had a desire to be an actor per se. But every time I sang a song, because I couldn't do all the flips that Frankie Lyman was doing and all that other stuff, I had to come out and give, yeah, baby, woo, come on, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'd get the audience involved, okay? And I know folks used to say to me when I first joined the Main Ingredient, they'd say, God, your choreography is incredible. I don't know nothing about no choreography. I want to be a solo artist. I'm just jumping around acting the fool like I'm going to do up here. I'm just acting the fool. But I'm feeling the music because the music has always been the drums, okay? And the music, if I got somebody that's playing behind me and the bass is really thumping, I'm feeling that, see? And I'm singing in the music, okay? And I feel that musicians are playing for me, so I make sure that it appears as if the sound of my voice is part of the instrument. We are a record, okay? We are an experience. It's not a situation where I'm singing and somebody's playing for me and I'm the star. If the guitar player makes a mistake, I'm in deep trouble. So when I have musicians that know what they're doing, okay, it gives me a joy and a happiness. And I was like that 40 years ago, and I'm like that now, and I'm gonna be like this tomorrow.
And you know what? See, he's saying all these things, and he's kind of probably dropping a few hints for our guitar player.
I told them that already. I gave him $50 too. I gave him $50. I gave him $50. No, but the fact of the matter is that I never thought that I could be a conventional singer because conventional singing with that went along dancing and acting, the Broadway stage. I was taught by my mother that everything else is slapstick and make-believe cabaret. The Broadway stage is the real thing. But you see, this kind of influence would never let me use a drum machine. This kind of influence would never let me do what these kids are doing today. But there are some that you're going to see on Star Search. And if Arsenio, when he gets that back, and he's going to get that back, and on American Idol, there are some truly gifted kids coming out here of all races. And it's going to come back. And they're still on the radio going to be playing Falling in Love is such an easy thing to do.
You can tell he's ready,
There's
right?
no guarantee that the one you love is going to love you. You know what I mean? Why? Because it's a melody and a lyric and it's the truth. Okay, and if you can understand every word of what someone is saying, that's something else they got away from about 20 years ago. Pronouncing your words.
Yeah.
Oh, my role model is Al Jarreau. Al Jarreau scats. You can pronounce, you can understand his words. His music is R&B jazz mixed. He always has a semblance of a melody, and he makes his mouth another instrument. That's what I do at rehearsal. I don't do it much when I'm live, but at rehearsal I try to, because I don't read music. I'm ashamed to say. But I was lazy. I'm a Taurus. I just want, like you had a bag of candy and you pick out all the black ones and eat the cherry. You remember that? You remember everybody wanted the red ones? What does that have to do? Anyway, the fact of the matter was I always wanted what I wanted. I wanted to feel good. I wanted everything to work. I wanted pleasure, happiness, okay? And when you want happiness and pleasure, if you're a professional and people are buying your music, they're buying your music because they're feeling happiness, pleasure.
So if I can ask a couple more questions, and then we're going to actually hear some of this happiness and pleasure.
Oh, I'm not going to really sing today. I ain't going to do that.
Don't let him fool you. And I think our band can kind of attest to this. This gentleman, and I don't mean this in a negative sense, I mean it in a very good sense. He's a perfectionist, or shall we say he is the ultimate professional. I mean, what he described, getting with the musicians, in fact, that was something else that I witnessed in Cleveland. I was so excited because I knew getting him here, he was going to exude those same kinds of things. And I just can't wait till you guys see it. But anyway, back to a couple more questions. Main ingredient. What were some of the heights of working with the main ingredients, you guys' greatest experiences?
The very first television show that we did after releasing Everybody Plays the Fool was a children's show called Wonderama. Wonderama surrounded us with a bunch of kids, and our manager was a fellow named Jerry Weintraub. Jerry Weintraub is still alive today, and he used to manage Frank Sinatra, the Pointer Sisters, us, the Moody Blues. He was like the ultimate manager. We were very lucky to get him. And he quit the music business and went into the movie business, and he produced films like Sniper, Karate Kid, 1, 2, and 3, and all of that. But he believed that if he could create another Hines, and Dad, and he used to always talk about them because they were singers as well. One of them was a musician. Gregory Hines just passed away, I think, last year. He said, that's what you guys should be. You should be intelligent, adult stand-up singers, and I want to give you an audience that will appreciate that and not compare you to the Temptations, the Delphonics, or the Shylights in those days, because you guys are stand-up and you have much more to offer, and your music is representative of sounds and beauty that they're not doing. Of course, the Shylights proved us wrong with Have You Seen Her and all that stuff. But that was his belief, okay? And after doing those TV shows, he got us in Carnegie Hall. Then he got us in Lincoln Center. I performed in the Grand Ole Opry, in Memphis, I opened for Gladys Knight and the Pips. I opened for Richard Pryor, okay? We were on the same stage with Elton John and Bruce Springsteen. We were in the Boston Commons, okay, opening for Aretha Franklin. And the Boston Commons is a park bigger, twice the size of Central Park. And it was the first time I heard applause, not like this, you hear, there's so many people. I've had some wonderful experiences, but I'm not finished, because I believe that if you look at what is being done in the rest of the world, not just in America, you pick up a Billboard magazine, people everywhere else on the planet, except maybe Japan, is listening to the melody and the lyric. Yeah. The way we're getting robbed, the artists in America get robbed more, particularly African American artists, and I will say that, because we don't know how to count the money. We can't chase the money every time they sell Everybody Plays the Fool in Australia, Brazil, Japan, Chile, Dominican Republic, Mexico. We have no idea, okay? We only, if we're lucky, we'll get a royalty check that says we still owe $150, okay? That is a complaint that needs to be fixed. That's something the world needs to address, because so many of us pass away without even knowing that they had money down there for them. Okay? And so all the good things that we signed that rip-off contract back in the 60s and 70s to sign somehow gets outweighed, okay, if we have the last 15 years or 10 years on earth are bad years, and our grandchildren are suffering and they ain't got no money, and our great-grandchildren are working at the post office going postal. You know what going postal means? George, you know what going postal. So I am blessed and I'm grateful for the career that I've had. But because I am Cuba Gooding Sr., it is my responsibility to make it clear that I do not want to see anyone younger than me go through any of the problems that my peers and I have gone through.
And on that note, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be wowed with that wonderful electric instrument of Cuba Gooding Sr. Right back on the Valley Gold after this.
Hi, this is Leonard of The Temptations, and you're watching the Valley Gold Show.
Give Debórah Benton another big round of applause. All I gotta say is this. How can you help it when the music starts to play? Whip! Clap your hands, come on. Okay, so you're heartbroken. You sit around moping, crying and crying. You say you even think about dying. You say your son has never won an Academy Award. Dig this, sing. Everybody plays a fool sometimes. There's no exception to the rule. Listen. Baby, factual, baby, true. I ain't lying. Everybody play the fool. Falling in love is such an easy thing to do. There's no guarantee that the one you love is gonna love you. Oh, little eyes they cannot see. A certain person can never be. Love runs deeper than any ocean. And cloud your mind with emotion. Sing. Everybody play the fool sometime. Yeah. No exception to the rule. Listen. It may be factual, maybe true. I want to say it again. Everybody play the fool. Give the band a big round of applause. Youngstown's own. How can you help it when the music starts to play? And your ability to reason is swept away. Oh, heaven on earth is all you see. You're out of touch with reality. Now you cry, but when you do, next time around someone cries for you. Everybody plays a fool, and they use you too. You know what I'm saying? You use your heart just like a tool. Listen, baby, you never tell you're so in school. I got to say it again. Everybody, this is the last time. Everybody sing. Drum. Everybody. One more time. Everybody plays the boo, 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 boo. Hey! One more time. No, wait. What is your name, sir? LeBron. Give him a big round of applause. What a musician. Jeff. Give him a big round of applause. I just gave him a name. Fred. Give Fred. Fred. What is it, Fred? Fred. Big round of applause for Fred in the back, the bass player. Because you're going to get to know him in a minute, and you are. Rick. Give Rick a round of applause. Youngstown, Ohio. And David, give them all a big round of applause, please. This ain't no joke. These are real musicians, and this is 2006, and they've been true to their craft. One of the things that made the main ingredient successful back in the 60s when we were rehearsing was because we were scared to death of women. We believed that as long as we were virgins, we were not men. So we decided to sing a song about 7 years later about the fact that we didn't want to be alone, and we wanted to always have a woman by our side, no matter what. And it went like this. Doom, doom, but doom, to doom, doom, to doom, to doom, 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 to doom. Put your right hand up in the air and snap your finger. Hey, wait a minute. Where you going with that suitcase? Wait a minute. Listen. Wiggle the love up in the air. Okay, you ain't got to say nothing. Just listen. I don't mind when you say that you're going away. I just don't want to be lonely. And I don't care if we share only moments a day, baby. I just don't want to be lonely. I'd rather be loved and needed, depended on to give a love I can't give when you're gone. When you're gone, just don't want to be lonely. Love. Wave the love in the air. Wave the love. Youngstown, rather have your sweet love, sugar. Play band, play, play, play. Ow! I don't mind if the tide sets the sun to the moon. Just don't wanna be lonely. And let the stairs find you there. Way back at the end of the room, ladies, I just don't wanna be lonely. I'd rather be loved and needed, dependent on to give a love I can't give. When you're gone, when you're gone, I don't wanna. Everybody, clap your hands. I just rather be loved. Come on. Show everybody we got love in Ohio. Rather be loved. Out there in TV land, raise your hand. We just want to be loved. Everybody, come on. Hey, I'd rather be loved. give enough. I can't give. When you're gone, when you're gone, I just wanna be, I just gotta be. I'd rather be loved so good, so fine, so sweet, be mine. I'd rather be loved, give me, give me, give me, give me. Ooh, baby, break it. I say, come on. Ooh, it feels good. Come on. Dirt, baby. It was good, 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 good. We just didn't want to be lonely. I don't want to be lonesome. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be lonely. Louder. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. Don't want to be. Don't let me be. Just give me your love, baby. Give me your love. Give me, give me, give me, give me that sweet, 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 sweet. Woman, I'd rather be loved and needed, depended on the game. I can't give when you're gone. When you're gone, I don't wanna be lonely. Wanna be loved, hey, give me that love. Give me that love. Give me, give me, give me, love me. Give me that love, sugar. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah.
The house tonight, the best of the main ingredient, okay? Now, you know, he was only supposed to do 2 numbers, but we never let anybody get out with just.
You want me to do another song?
Listen, I know something about you.
You want me to do another song?
I know that you would not be happy.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to Cuba Jr.
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to Omar. I'm talking to...
Let me see. Let me see. What's the key? Would you come here for a moment, please? Come over here.
Let me help you, brother.
I'm holding one and being rubbed by the other.
And I'm not selling these tissues after the show, okay?
That's the dream of America, right? What's your name? Cheryl, you're very beautiful. Do you like sweaty old men? Sometimes? I want you to know that to me, you're prettier than all the world. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. But you're only one fella's girl. Yes, baby, baby, baby. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Everybody help me sing. I'm so proud of being loved by you. Give her a round of applause. And it would hurt to know if you ever were untrue. Of a chance so sweet. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. Compliments to you from all the people we. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. End it. Hello. By you. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you.